Hi guys, it's Kyle from Regrettable Props, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make the Warden's half tabard or fabric tassets, depending on whatever name you want to do. And first you want to start off your template. I'm just using cardstock as mine with a diagonal piece for a different color. I also cut out some brown fabric that was 2 inches in width and cut several long strips of them because I'm going to be needing them later to adding the trim. Now once you've cut or made your template, you're going to want to trace it out onto your material you're using. I'm using chalk to make it easier to transfer and trace, and I'm using cotton as my fabric. And I did each of the pattern pieces 4 times because there's going to be 2 for the front and 2 for the back, if that makes sense. Afterwards, I used that brown fabric, folded it over using an iron to help keep those creases. I folded it over once, and then I cut out my fabric patterns as needed, leaving seam allowance in the desired areas where they'll be sewn together. And here you can just see on screen, I have my mom helping me pin this and sew it all together because my sewing skills still have not improved from the practicing I've been doing, so I had her help me when putting this together. When I made it for the first time, I used hot glue because that was what I was knowledgeable with using, but this time I did it with sewing and did it properly. Once we've sewn both portions together, we're going to be using the brown fabric that we have folded over at the very beginning. We're going to be using that to act as a border for these 2 colors that we've sewn together for our pattern. You're going to want to use a lot of pins, and you want to do one length at a time. And what I mean by that is you're going to want to put the brown fabric on one edge and sew that. You're not going to want to do putting brown pieces on a whole bunch of areas and try and do one continuous stitch with it being at a whole bunch of different angles. If you want to try that, by all means go ahead. I just don't think it'll give you the best result. Here you can see what it looks like once it's been stitched, just down one side, and then you just keep on cutting pieces off of that brown fabric and using them to go around the border. You're going to want to make sure you do it for all these pieces that stick out and have the triangles at the end of them. And to help reinforce those corners where those pieces overlap, I'm going to be using a cross stitch like you currently see on screen. You're going to want to go up and down a few times to make sure it's reinforced, and it helps kind of cover it up if there is any issues with some gapping of the underlying fabric showing. Now we're going to be using this gray material. I just used a hockey jersey leftover that was gray. You can use gray cotton if you want. And we're going to be cutting out these shapes that you currently see on screen. And we're going to be wanting to pin them on to the front. There's going to be 2 on each side, the left and the right side. And you're going to be wanting to do this to the front and the back of these pieces. So once you have that all pinned where you want it to be, you want to make sure it's even. Here I'm doing a sped up portion to paint on these yellow crosses that are faded out. Just make it like a plus sign with a elongated vertical line, and then you're going to want to be doing arrows on it afterwards, and you'll be done for that part of the painting of this fabric portion. Now to weather it up, you can use sandpaper, you can toss it on the dirt, you can use whatever tool you have in your arsenal. I find using sandpaper allowed for a bit more control over the amount of wear that you want to give to your fabric. To trim up some of these pieces where we have some extra material from the seam allowance, I used these triangle scissors I used in the previous build for the cape. I do not know the name of them, unfortunately. Now we're going to be connecting the front and back portion of these half tassets, sorry, these fabric tassets or half tabards, using some more brown fabric. Just showing the type of way I'll be folding the fabric, and I'll be using an iron to help press and keep these creases when folding. If you guys have better knowledge with sewing, you guys will probably understand better about what I'm trying to explain to you for the next part of this build. My initial dimensions of this rectangular piece of fabric was 4 inches in width and 8 inches in length, and that was for the extra material needed doing the folds. Once you've got it all folded and done with iron, This is what it's going to look like, and we're going to pin it to one side, and then we're going to stitch it, and we're going to keep repeating this process for the 2 rectangular pieces until we have the front and back connected. And here's the result you're going to be having once that process is done. And there you have it. You have the fabric tassets, or the half tabard, from the Warden class from For Honor. I hope you guys enjoyed it or were able to follow along easily. If you have any questions about the build, please post them in the comment section. I'm going to be taking a break from For Honor anything related videos. We're going to start getting out those Republic Commando tutorials, so stay tuned for those next week. I'm going to put out an intro trailer for that shortly. So anyways, this has been Kyle from Regrettable Props, and I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.